Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Quill Quickcard, and welcome to a nearly untouchable classic of gaming history. Super Metroid. This is legitimately one of the best games ever made. I was lucky enough to have this game when I was young, and it is still one of my favorites. I first battled the Metroids on planet Zebes. It was there that I foiled the plans of the space pirate leader, Mother Brain, to use the creatures to attack galactic civilization. Also, yes, you can probably hear the dishwasher running. We're just gonna have to deal with it together. I next fought the Metroids on their homeworld, SR-388. I completely eradicated them except for a larva, which after hatching followed me like a confused child. So the really cool thing about Super Metroid is that it is very much at the tail end, chronologically, of the Metroid story. There's only 3 Metroid games that chronologically take place after this. Those are, in order, Metroid Other M. After that would be Fusion, and of course the most recent Metroid Dread. And we'll have to see about Metroid Prime 4. I don't know what their plans are for that. I personally delivered it to the Galactic Research Station at Ceres, so scientists could study its energy-producing qualities. This guy really, like, the angle just makes it look like his mouth is just wide open. The scientists' findings were astounding. They discovered that the powers of the Metroid might be harnessed... let's move my cursor off the screen. Because this is definitely original hardware, and, you know... yeah, sure. Might be harnessed for the good of civilization. Satisfied that all was well, I left the station to seek a new bounty to hunt. But I had hardly gone beyond the asteroid belt when I picked up a distress signal. Ceres Station was under attack. This game was originally released on the Super Nintendo system, 1994. And my god, did it push the Super Nintendo to its limits. Time to have some fun. I actually haven't played this game in a couple of years. I'm really looking forward to the experience. I'm not going to be going for 100%, but anything that I can obviously see, I will try to get. And, yes, those are dead bodies. Just straight up dead bodies. Which is really not something you ever saw in games at the time. At least, I mean, especially not a Nintendo game. In fact, it was so out of the ordinary to see something like that in a Nintendo game that, I was actually already an adult before I even realized that those were bodies. So, now we just gotta make sure that we shoot this guy a bunch, take some damage, Come on, Ridley. You know, I get the sneaking suspicion that this guy might be too big for Smash Bros. What do you think? I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out one day. Self-destruct sequence activated. Evacuate colony immediately. I love how this is an entire, like, research station, but it gives you a minute to evacuate. And we've got some absolutely beautiful uses of the Mode 7 system on the SNES here, in order to, you know, rotate, zoom, scale, and translate the screen. It really was just a kind of technology that you didn't see in games at the time. And it's so effective, too. This game is the Metroidvania. You know, before there was even a Castlevania to add to the name. I mean, yes, the first Metroid game, that was a wonderful game of its era. Metroid 2, it was a perfectly fine game for the Game Boy. You know, even one of the better ones on that system. But neither of them can compare to just how impressive this game is on a technical level, on a visual level, on, you know, on a level of sound and design. God, I'm so happy to be playing this again. I don't remember the exact path to get through the entire game, but I do remember most of it, I would say. I always end up, I always end up getting a little lost, it seems, once I get to, like, the water areas. Meridia, I think it is. But until that point, I basically have things under control. And now that I have said that out loud, I have doomed myself to incompetence and failure. But honestly, that's just kind of funny. And yes, I do recognize that, once again, I am not playing Final Fantasy X. Yeah, they know I'm here. The camera's got eyes on me. And the first of my legendary abilities, the Morphing Ball. And straight down. And I think that's missiles. Yes, it is. Excellent. So now I can open red doors. I always thought that this was a little bit mean to set up for first-time players to have to deal with. Because climbing up that is honestly kind of annoying. Hello. And that gives us even more missiles, so now our maximum is 10. Mostly I just haven't had the time to record Final Fantasy X lately, so I figured, I can do, you know, a few days of Super Metroid. It won't take long to get through it. I can do short episodes. And, you know, it'll be fun. It'll be nice. And I'm almost 100% certain that I haven't done this on my channel already. I would feel slightly embarrassed if it turned out I was wrong about that. But not that embarrassed, because I know at the very least it wouldn't have been within the last 2.5 years. But boy, would I feel stupid if I had within the last 2.5 years. Then I'd just feel like a dummy. I think it's actually going to be a pretty good day today. I'm going to be doing an anime viewing party later today, so I'm pretty happy about that. And by party, I mean my mom and my sister. You know, just try to show them something different, interesting, something that they might like. I thought a lot about what sort of stuff I might want to show them. In the end, I brought a few things along to see what captures their interest. Made in Abyss. Yes, I recognize that that might be a slightly traumatizing choice, but if you're into the story, it's fine. Aside from the trauma. Frieren, Madoka Magica, and also Spy Family. I brought along Spy Family. So, we'll see what people think sounds interesting. I don't know. I think I can curate a very positive experience. I just like sharing my interests with people. It's fun. And it can be difficult to find areas of shared interest with my family. I mean, we're all nerds at the end of the day. And really big nerds. But I'm really the only one in the family that would qualify as, like, a gamer. Okay, can't go there. I think I can at least access the save point up here. Whoa. I also have to be very, very careful. Unlike Metroid Prime, save points will not restore my health. And sometimes the only reliable way to replenish resources is to find areas that just endlessly spawn enemies in front of you. And quite frankly, I'm almost completely certain that these areas are specifically placed in order to allow you to regenerate resources. Alright, let's move on to the first boss. This is a good example of what I mean. Like, you know, these things have a very high drop rate of stuff. Let's see if I can't pick up a few extra missiles. Yes, I can. Alright, full health, full missiles. Door's still open. And I have unlocked the bombs. Gee, I wonder what's going to happen. To be honest, the first time I ever saw this, it really did surprise me. There we go. That's alright, just jump back. It's okay. Alright. And there he goes. That was the first boss down. Of course, you can always go and stop back by your ship, too. Saving at the ship does fully heal you and restores all your ammunition. A feature which I am glad to say they actually have retained in other Metroid games, including Metroid Prime. So, the bomb's got two primary functions. One, it breaks blocks, and two, if you're on a bomb, it launches you up a little bit. And if you're good at timing... Well, I'm doing a bad job showing it off. But if you time it, you can actually get multiple bomb jumps, and actually gain a lot of verticality that you're not supposed to have access to until later. There is a spring ball as an optional power-up later in the game, which just lets you jump while you're in ball form. Technically not necessary for completing anything in the game, but God does it make stuff easier. And yeah, that's pretty much all we need to do in this area of the map. So the big thing about Metroid is finding places to go. So getting the map station, that's easy enough. It's behind a door that you can easily open, easily access. And then it gives you all of this. So now you know, oh, okay, I could go right. But if you try to go right, you'll find a barrier you can't break. But you can also think, huh, I can go to the left up there. But it didn't look like I could go to the left. So you have to, you know, frequently look around. A big way that the whole series works is trying to logic your way into new paths. And indeed, this is a breakable wall. And, you know, of course, that sort of, you know, trying to hunt through things, trying to find hidden passages, that kind of gameplay isn't really for everybody. So I understand why there are some people who struggle with it. Joffy. If you know, you know. There we go. There's not anywhere I can actually progress past this door right now. But there's no reason not to just open up the door. Plus, I can show off this. When I was young, I never was able to really parse this design in my head. But this is, in fact, the 4 main bosses of the game, in statue form, just all sort of gathered together into this single form. So this sort of suggests that your overall goal is to defeat 4 main bosses and then come back here. Which, now I think about it, that kind of design communication is actually something I see a fair bit of in other side-scrollers and platformers these days. Like, right off the top of my head, I could think of Rogue Legacy 2, which basically has a boss door at the start. But my dear viewers, welcome to the subterranean jungle of Brinstar. One of the coolest areas in this game. Just like all the other areas, which are also the coolest areas in this game. As soon as I entered this room, this door sealed behind me, and it will not open until I kill all the enemies in this room. So it sort of forces you, by design, to realize, oh, sometimes, you know, it's not just walls. There's hidden things in the rooms, too. In other words, the game basically forces you to access a map. Which is really cool. And no, the map doesn't show every area, but it shows you enough to get around and to sort of hint at where there's going to be hidden things. A well-designed Metroidvania is a truly awesome experience. And a badly designed one is a frustrating endeavor for the insane. Now, I do know that there is a way to run past this. I think it involves, like, running while pumping your arms up and down. Kind of like that, I think. I don't believe I've ever actually pulled it off. Ah, you can go through the wall. Oh, the wall's already closed. Okay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to do it, but I'm definitely willing to give it a shot. I've actually never really sequence broke this game on my own, despite the fact that this game is absolutely legendary for speedrunning. In fact, there's an entire category for speedrunning this game that defeats all of those 4 main bosses in the reverse order that is intended. Huh. Actually, now I'm thinking about it again, I don't think they actually did the arm pump here. I think they did Morph Ball. Yeah, I think there's a way that they maintain the velocity of the Morph Ball and then slide right under the bottom. That one I don't actually know how to do. So we're just gonna move on. There we go. There is the first save room of Brinstar. And that's all I'm going to do for today. Nice short episode. And I will see you all on the next one.